Hello and welcome back. Today I'll be playing Gunfire Reborn. Again, it's Monday, so that's what I'm going to play. I'm going to be playing this bird character, trying to get the talents that focus on their swipe that stacks infinitely unless it's been changed. It just seems like a fun way to try to play it. This one was neat. Sure. An interesting weapon. But I guess today my goal was to try and talk, well, mostly because there was a specific book I was reading, or light novel that I was reading the current. They've been getting caught up again on the translation of, and the only thing about the story that actually draws me in is how it tells a story over how it deals with like time and the fact and like how past a certain point, if you were like time, your perception of time is shaped by your own context. Like, I'll get to it in a second. So that's... the bonus applies to the cleave itself, so if I'm going for a cleave build, I want that. Plus 50% when the number of hits caused by a single shot. Okay, so a lot of hits equals that. I'm definitely not doing all or nothing. Yes. Ooh, weird gun. Weird gun. Like the book, I had the thing written down, but I don't have, it's like, well, the initial part is that they're tired of the slow life or something like that. Something about a high elf, which the high elf part is actually relevant because, you know, as with most fiction, elves and high elves being high elves being higher than elves, it tracks that they then are superior, they live longer and whatever. And so this series, it's not the, I think, outside of what I find fun about it, I don't think it's a great story. Like, I enjoy how this story handles, like, it doesn't linger on anything. Like, it, within the first book, like, it's a written book, so the actual passage of time doesn't have the same impact. So it's a little bit cheap. I need to just figure out which one to use. I kind of want to stack this, but this is double base cleave. I think more cleave base damage is better, because then if I get the stacking one, it'll be easier to get the kills to stack it infinitely. I don't know if that stacking one exists anymore. I could just check if the stacking one exists, actually. Deal increased damage to enemies with low HP. Cleave's base damage is permanently increased by plus 5% for each enemy slain by cleave. So I need easy kill to then scale it infinitely to the point where it can one-shot everything. Which is my goal, because it's unique to this character, I think. The infinite scaling in that specific way. Oh yeah, this character doesn't... I need to remember that this guy's an armor character, so he actually doesn't regen his armor. So I can't just tank everything and not worry. Though I think the on hit get max armor is actually very useful for keeping my armor up. But I got distracted far too readily. Shoot, that actually overlaps with this in terms of ammo. Sure, let's go with that. I'm not going to use it. Okay, I need to think. Okay. No, I don't like that one. Sure. That's pretty good, I think. I need to go this way. But I'm trying to think about how this story, yes, what I said was that it is a written book, so it doesn't actually like there's no actual like, oh, passage of time, so it's kind of a lot easier to just say, oh, 10 years have passed, 50 years have passed, etc. So it's not as, it obviously doesn't get the same like legitimate nostalgia feeling with time passing. I mean, that seems like extra ammo, so that's probably pretty good. But it, like, the story very much has a, like, because it's established right away the character is, you know, an elf. He lives not forever, but he lives for an incredibly long time, so his sense of time is also going to be different. Which, like, plenty of stories do roughly touch on that concept, but a lot have time pass in a fairly normal way, and it's just eventually you get to the point of, like, impact from time, the difference in time scale mattering, but this, the emphasis of the story is on how the passage of time is different for them. It's a fun, like, thing to emphasize, I feel, because it's not, I don't personally think it's an overdone plot, like, concept to emphasize. Corrosion. Moving, the faster you move, less damage is probably pretty good. So taking less damage is always good. Okay, that's not right. I didn't think this was, I thought this was supposed to, yeah, it doesn't actually, I thought it was intentionally supposed to be, you pull it from where it was, and not, but it's actually just pulling it from where you line up. So if I throw it here, I still pull it from there, which is kind of interesting. I didn't realize that's how it worked. I actually, the entire time, thought that it was going from there to here, but instead it's just, maybe it's changed, but I don't think it has. I think I just wasn't paying attention. It makes it way easier to use. It's less interesting as a weapon, though. If you can just sort of, yep, if you just aim on the pullback, don't need to plan ahead. trying to... Okay. Yes. The story emphasizes the passage of time, the difference in passage of time, and I find that's a fun... It's a fun concept to establish. Like, everyone past a certain age will experience how the passage of time changes, or like the feeling of time changes gradually. Because, like, when you are 5, a year is a long time. Not that you really remember it, but, like, perfect. But, like, sure, let's go with that. The feeling, like, the way you feel the passage of time changes a lot as you age. So, like, when you're young, even a week is a long time, but then past a certain point, a week is very little. It's sort of, oh yeah, just another week gone by. You can't wait for the week to be over. But then, I mean, you can't wait till the week is over. It's forever or something, but for different reasons. Like, obviously, if you're, like, the experience of time changes. Everyone sort of, I think most people experience that, and it's just it's a fun concept to look at and examine. Now, this story doesn't do it in a way that I would say is especially, it's not exceptional, it's just that it's such an uncommon point to examine that I really enjoy that it does. That, like, the main purpose of the story is talking about how time passing and people die over time. You have to come to terms with it. It kind of, it's just a unique thing for these types of generally mediocre light novels. But other stories sort of can have the same impact to an extent of time. Like, a lot of, sure, like Chinese Wuxia and those, like, cultivation novels where an obscene amount of time passes in a matter of pages. Like, it's not complex, like, it's just sort of, yep, now 4 billion years have passed. It doesn't mean anything. But I do always find it, I do find that it does a good job. It's an interesting, like, oh yeah, a huge amount of time passed, and just thinking about the idea of having, I mean, of even just having that much time in your life to be able to survive, live, experience an extreme length of time, and just how the world changes. And in these sorts of, like, fairly mediocre stories, it also still is interesting because of, oh, that was not right. Like, even if the story itself is not great, it has an interesting facet with, like, in-world, oh, the sense of time shifts. It's all just written, so it doesn't actually have any real sense of time, so it's easy for this sense of time to shift. But when you eventually go back to like look at how far the story progressed and how initially 1 month was a long time, because these types of stories are always like, oh, gotta get strong as fast as possible, so 1 month is incredibly important. But then eventually these stories often devolve into, yep, I sat there for 4 billion years and became the best. Like, it's not a... In and of itself, I don't think it's an interesting way to tell a story, but I do find that, like, when you get used to this random hand-wavy time passing, and then you look back and you notice how it evolved to the point where time lost all meaning in the story. And it's just an interesting facet of storytelling, how time is handled. Oh, give me the stacking wing attack, please. Nope. If I can get the stacking wing attack soon, I won't be ruined. If it takes much longer, I will have no choice but to lose. Just trying to spec into that and then just not getting the one thing that makes it actually work. I mean, it means it's just a bad choice to have gone for it, but what is that? Oh yeah, this guy that does all this and then eventually he splits. I hate this enemy. I guess it's all about gathering up those purple orbs that appear. I mean, I honestly want to just quit the run right here because this is a pain. Like, literally just to not have to chase this dragon anymore, I want to stop this run. I might just be able to leave and ignore him though. Oh, and then this phase. I assume it was not just targeting the nearest one. Okay. I don't like that. It's just a DPS test out of nowhere. Fun. Great fun. Had a great time. Totally wasn't a waste of time. Totally doesn't make me want to quit playing this game. Frustrating. What an interesting collection of enemies. Tilted out of my mind, just with that one event. They succeeded in making me tilt. See, there'd be free stacks for damage if I got the one ability that would actually let damage back. This is bad, I think. But it's more fun than those. Come on. Nope. I mean, bigger AoE. But I mean, going for a cleave focus build without the cleave damage is a bad idea. Guess I just play it like this. Okay. Yeah. Keep getting distracted by this game, tilting my... But, like, what, going back to the initial light novel that I was talking about, I think that, like, the way it sort of tells its story, it has, like, the character is an elf, a high elf. It's like a longer lived elf, better connected to the spirits, not really very interesting. The only thing that's really important is it just makes it so that you don't really have to worry about him losing, because it is, as the title suggests, it's sort of a very low stakes story. Like, it's not trying to be a super duper serious combat focused story. Randomly shifting to the side when I decide to pull the spikes back. The characters that have something to make it so they're guaranteed to get a specific weapon type have it very good. Wow, nice enemy. I have a new name for him. I don't think it's a good gun, but it's way more interesting. Okay, it might be a good gun. It's at least more interesting to me. Let's grab this and then go back up, please. Give me the upgrade. Perfect. It might be too late, and I might be doomed, but now I just need to spam those to stack the damage and hope that I can get enough kills ramping quickly. Because if I can keep it stacking at a reasonable pace, I might stand a chance. I don't think this is viable to try to stack on. Because big enemy. Cavalry. Neither of those interesting. This gun is pretty fun compared to most. Corrosive. Less weapon damage, but they all double. For every excess. I don't know if that's good or bad. I'm still unsure. I think it's a net upgrade for everything that doesn't have a crazy number of hits. Which this gun might actually have a lot of hits because it's AoE, so it might not work. Oh, this enemy, I'm gonna lose. There's no chance I don't lose here. Breakable objects, drop copper. I don't like either of these. Let's upgrade this because I like it. But back to what I was trying to think about. The book about the high elf and how time changes. What I think it does, it for the first book especially, okay, I hate this boss so far. I hate everything about it so far. Like, oh yes, you're melee centric. Let's make it so that you literally can't stay in range of it. Great boss. Knock back constantly. Fun boss. Great design. Maybe I'm missing something. I hate it so far. This boss is so bad. Like, oh, you're melee centric, you can't fight him. Like, unless there's some sort of obvious tell that he's going to be the boss before you get to this area, I hate this boss. I'm just gonna lose. I'm done. I'm done with this game. Much shorter stream than I intended, but that fight